Chapter 1. The mahogany grandfather clock in the principal's office ticked impatiently, its dark wood echoing that of the imposing desk in the opposite corner. Carter slouched in her chair, legs crossed, arms folded, her expression one of mild amusement. She had seen this office before. "Mr. Owens," Principal Withers said, "I appreciate you taking time out of your schedule to be here today." Carter glanced at her father, his rigid military posture, his immaculate black suit. "I know you must have a very busy day with the president, so I'll come to the point. Your daughter—" Principal Withers shot a look at Carter as she busied herself by picking a piece of imaginary lint from her wrinkled uniform. "Dislocated a young man's shoulder." Carter raised her hand. "Technically, sir, he dislocated his own shoulder." Beside her, Carter noted the tightness around her father's lips, the squinting of his eyes, the twitch in his eyebrow. She had seen that face before. "As I was saying, Miss Owens is lucky Zach Warren's shoulder is healing. Carter has already served her punishment for her actions while you were out of town. But I wanted to be sure to bring this to your attention since this is her first offense." He cleared his throat pointedly. "That is, her first physical offense. Detention was assigned, but should this happen again, Carter will be facing suspension, possibly expulsion." Carter met the principal's gaze straight on. "Thank you," Carter's father said, never once looking at Carter, "for bringing this to my attention. I assure you, this will not happen again. Was there anything else?" "No, that was all," Principal Withers said, rising. "If you'll excuse me, the water main at Thomas Jefferson Academy burst last week, and we're receiving 100 other students this morning. I have a hectic day ahead of me." "Good day," Carter's father said, as the two men shook hands. Snatching her messenger bag off the floor, Carter slung the strap over her head and followed her father. The stiffness in his shoulders, the staccato tap of his shoes, the avoidance of his gaze spoke volumes. Only when they stepped out of the school and walked towards the parking lot did Carter dare to speak. "So?" she said. "Carter, what were you thinking?" her father said. He spun on her, making her stumble back a step. "I thought—" She took a breath. "I thought we needed some father-daughter bonding time. So I picked the most annoying kid I could find. Believe me, half the school was thanking me." "Carter, Zach Warren could have pressed charges. I taught you self-defense to defend yourself, not so you could use it on some politician's son. Seriously? Captain, do you think I did this for fun?" Her father crossed his arms, staring her down. "I don't need to remind you that you dislocated a student's shoulder. The guy was beating up on a girl. I couldn't just stand by and let that happen." She folded her arms, mimicking her father's posture. "You taught me to help the little guy." "So you dislocated his shoulder to stop him?" he asked, trying to poke holes in her defense. "Not at first," Carter said. "I tried to talk him down, but when that didn't work, I put him in a lock. I clearly told him what the consequences would be if he tried to move. Unfortunately, he didn't listen." Breathing in, her father looked up at the cloudy sky while Carter watched him. After a moment passed, her father relaxed his shoulders. "Sarge," he said, turning his gaze back to her. "Why didn't you inform a teacher?" Carter sighed. It wouldn't have made a difference. You know the kind of guy. If someone doesn't stop him, he would keep finding victims. You know I'm right." Her father weighed the truth of her words and what he knew about his daughter. "Unfortunately, I do know. But that changes nothing. Next time, when talking someone down doesn't work, let a teacher handle it. Don't resort to violence. Understand?" "Understand." Moving towards the door of his black SUV, Carter's father hesitated. Carter tensed. "What is it?" she asked. Letting out a heavy breath, he met her eyes. "Sarge," he said, his voice rough. "I think it's better to tell you now than tonight." Carter's stomach clenched as she crossed her arms. "I know it's unexpected, and I said I would be home for the next 2 weeks, but I'm leaving again tomorrow. 4-day trip." Throat tightening, Carter kicked at a pebble. When she looked up, she saw an apology in her father's eyes. "So you're leaving again. I'm getting the feeling you don't like me," Carter mocked. "You keep finding reasons to leave. Sometimes I think you like this president guy more than me." Her father squeezed her shoulder affectionately. It's only 4 days, Sarge. He tilted his head down, holding her gaze. We can't afford a lawsuit, so I need you to stay out of trouble while I'm gone. If I did stay out of trouble, then when would we ever have these lovely times together? Her father pulled out his keys. I think we can find a better way to spend our time. How about this? When I come back, we can go to the shooting range, or do one of the training courses with some of the guys. Anderson's still pissed that I got the jump on him in our last round. You're an 18-year-old girl, and he's a trained Secret Service agent. You answer that. Carter tapped his chest with her finger. I'm your 18-year-old daughter. Anderson should have remembered that. His mistake. Her father wrapped her into a tight hug. A crashing weight filled Carter's chest as she held on to him with a silent ferocity. When he pulled back, he laid his hands on her shoulders. Remember, I'll always find you. That's a promise and a threat. She gave him a teasing smirk. So you're saying I can't run away with my Marine boyfriend? Not funny, he said. I thought it was. Besides, your promise would be more impressive if there weren't a tracker in my necklace. He gave her jaw a playful nudge with his fist. Nevertheless, you have my promise. Now promise me you'll stay out of trouble. Carter tossed up her hands in the air, like he had asked for the moon and the stars in a duffel bag. You take the fun out of everything. Yes, you have my promise. Good, he said, kissing her forehead. He climbed into the car and rolled down the window. Carter planted her crossed arms on the rim. Remember, you're signed up to take a bullet, but that doesn't mean you have to take one in the chest. I'll take a superior father over a hero. Heroes suck. Chuckling, her father started the car as she took a step back. I let Maggie know about the trip, so you'll have company, he called out. I love you, Sarge. I love you too, Captain, she responded, saluting him as the SUV pulled away. She stayed frozen, watching the car disappear into the river of traffic. Turning back towards the school, she gripped the strap of her bag, her carefree expression dropping away. As she cut across the parking lot, a man wearing a black suit climbed out of a town car. Spotting Carter, he paused and shook his head. If it isn't Carter Owens, he said. Releasing her death grip on her bag strap, Carter smirked. Anderson. She nodded to the back of a mother and son heading away from Anderson's car. On carpool duty, I see. Do you and the fellow soccer moms wear those suits, or are you trying to start a trend? Anderson grunted in annoyance. Hey, I heard your old man is abandoning you again. Carter shrugged, even as her throat tightened. Nothing new there. You don't have to worry about me, Anderson. She started walking backward. Unlike some people I know, I can take care of myself. And there you have it. That is the first chapter. I know, you're all freaking out because it ends in a different location than when it would. But the meeting between Lincoln and Donovan is actually in the second chapter. So, if you want that as a live stream for me to read, let me know, comment, and maybe we'll do it next weekend. On that note, thank you for being a part of this. I was super nervous. Thank you for letting me start over again because I feel like I got my rhythm on the second time. 2 things before I go. 1, if you do want a signed copy, then private message me. We'll work something out. And 2, some of you have noticed that the paperback is available on Amazon, and whoa. Do not buy it yet. Wait until Tuesday. With the proof, I found a couple just like small errors, and so I'm fixing those, and the new version will be up by Tuesday, so don't go buy it yet. I want you to have a good, perfect, clean version. So, thank you for being a part of this. It was crazy. I love you. If you want to talk about it and kind of